Hey everybody, Mark from Northeast Bastion. How you guys doing? Well, next video on the bait and focus series, and we'll stick with zoom since you guys seem to be into it. And hey, I love zoom baits too, so I get it. I thought we'd talk about the zoom, the Ultravibe speed worm. And this I think is kind of an underutilized bait these days. Even I have kind of gotten away from swimming a worm around, and it really can be effective. Especially, I like it spring, fall, but really all year long it can be effective. Especially if you got lakes around you that have a lot of grass. It really works well there. So unlike the trick worm where I had the 7 million colors, only got a few here of the ones I like. But this is kind of one of those baits that whenever I'm making like an order from Land Big Fish, who is like, the best place to get zoom as far as different colors go, I'll throw in a bag or two just to try it out. And I've got a lot of natural colors that I like to throw. And I think before we actually show you the baits, let's talk about how I set this up. Now, sometimes I will throw it with no weight at all, but most of the time, I'll just put it on. You could use, if you like a worm hook, you can get away with that. If you like, a flipping type hook, that's fine. I prefer an EWG, extra wide gap hook, 4/0 or 5/0. This holds a 5/0 pretty well. So I'll go for the bigger hook if I can get it. It's almost kind of like, I throw it just like I throw the frog. I'm throwing it out, letting it hit, and I'm just swimming it back to the boat. And this tail, this Ultravibe tail, is doing all the work. It's giving that little bit of gurgling sound, a little bit, and it's almost like that that horny toad bite in a way. And I can throw it around the grass and the pads and stuff. Now, if it's super thick stuff, I don't really do it there. It's kind of more when it's scattered or it's submergent vegetation. And I'll put like a small weight on. I believe this is like an 1/8 ounce. Sometimes I can even throw it with, quite frankly, with no weight at all. But I just put the little bit of weight on there just so I can cast it a little further. I've got heavy fluoro here. It's like 14 pound, 12 pound, 14. I think it's 14. And you can throw it on spinning if you like. I prefer to throw it on casting. This is just a Abu Garcia Vendetta rod, 7.3, medium heavy, very versatile rod and a great price. This is an Ardent Summit Falcon rod, or I'm sorry, reel. And as I said, I've got that light fluoro on there, or not light, but not. I don't have like. I mean, I guess if you're fishing somewhere where it's real, if you're this is very popular in Florida. I'm sure guys are using a lot heavier line than I'm using up here in New Hampshire. But you can throw super heavy line if you got super heavy cover you're throwing this around. But I don't think I really need much more than this 12 to 14. Pound line, because I am going to throw it near weeds. So I do like to have a little heavier line. And as I said, a little 1/8 ounce weight. You can peg it if you want. I've seen on YouTube some guys that like to peg it. Some guys don't. Me, I don't tend to peg it. I'll just let that weight free through, because it's going to stick right on the bait. And I'm just going to swim that across around the weeds, around the pads, next to docks, next to pontoon boats, things like that. I can flip it and then swim it back. And if it comes to like, if there's some decent weeds and maybe there's a hole in the weeds, I can let it fall down, and that weight will help it go down that hole a little bit. And that's how I throw it. I swim this bait. Now you can flip and pitch this worm too. Excellent bait for, flipping and pitching if you prefer to do that. I usually kind of pretty much use it as a swimming worm. And I've got the, and I try to keep that straight so that tail, so that hook point is here, and the top of that Ultravibe tail is right there. So that's on the top of the water. That's kind of making a little bit of gurgling sound on top. But that's it, guys. That is the Zoom Ultravibe speed worm. And this color, I think, is green pumpkin candy. But I just like the natural colors. Sometimes I'll take, like, guys, I've shown you these the Spike It markers before. These make it a lot easier than having those cans that, those little jars that spill on the boat and make a mess on your carpet. Sometimes I'll take a little chartreuse, and these also smell like garlic, which is a good thing. And sometimes I'll take these and put a little bit of chartreuse on there, just a little bit, both sides of the tail. Sometimes I'll even make a line, like along the side. Just give it a little something for the fish to kind of zoom, zero in on. Whew, those things stink. But you don't have to do that, but I like to do it. Gives it a little bit of different coloring in the bait. So you can play around with some of the different colors and see how the fish react. But now with that little bit of chartreuse on there, a little bit of chartreuse on the tail, it just shows up a little better. But that's pretty much it. Pretty simple setup. Like I said, 7.3 rod, medium heavy. I wouldn't go medium, especially if you're throwing around heavy cover. I like a 4-aught or a 5-aught hook. I just happen to have a 5-aught on. Whatever you like better. You could probably get away with a 3-aught. If you like the straight worm hooks, that's fine. I like the EWGs. Bait casting equipment, you can throw it on. If you only have spinning, you could certainly throw it on that. It's up to you, because you're swimming it. It's like throwing a crankbait, throwing a frog, throwing a chatterbait. You're just throwing it, and that tail's just going along the top and making some cool action, and the fish just come up and suck it right in. Let me show you these colors I got. I think that one I just showed you, I think is this one here. This is the Ultravibe Speed Worm. It's a 15-pack. And green pumpkin candy. You guys know I love that watermelon candy, green pumpkin candy. Really natural looking color. Because here, it's kind of, to me, my thinking is they think it's a bluegill, a perch, something swimming across the top. So I'm trying to match, those bait fish that are in my lake. Bluegill, things like that. So these watermelons, green pumpkins, I think they really do a good job. But you can see it's got that like purple and green, some different flakes in there. So that's a green pumpkin candy. Any color that I see that says candy on it, I know I'm gonna like, because it means it has a lot of flake in it. But there's 15-pack. They're on sale now. Land Big Fish, 20% off. So good time to stock up. The first one I ever had was just, I always have straight black. It just works great. Clear water, dirty water. Straight black is always a good one to try, to have. It's that silhouette in the lake, in the water, I guess. But straight black is always good. I always like to look at, whenever I see the price tag on there, I always look to see if it says where I bought it, just to remember the days of when I bought these baits. This one is called Tilapia Magic. This is kind of a cool one I saw. If you guys have been following my channel for a while, you've seen when I bought these at different Land Big Fish or wherever. But this is like a darker color with a lot of flake on it, which is kind of cool. I don't know if I've thrown that one yet. I know I've thrown the watermelon candies and the green pumpkin candies. I don't know if I've thrown this Tilapia Magic yet, but that's pretty cool. There's really some awesome flake in there. So Tilapia Magic is that one. That's a cool one. Let's see, this one here is Green Pumpkin Magic. So, as I said with candy, if it says candy or magic, it's going to be some cool colors. Let's see how different this is than the Green Pumpkin. So this has more gold flake, black flake, a whole bunch of different flakes in there. So Green Pumpkin Magic. Similar to that Green Pumpkin Candy, just some different flake. But another good option. And let's see, the last green pumpkin one I've got is this Green Pumpkin Purple and Gold. Green Pumpkin Purple and Gold flake, which show up really well in the water. It's a nice color right there. Green Pumpkin, Purple and Gold flake. That's a good one. And as I said, or if I thought I said it, but in case I didn't, I always want to rig it with that tail up, because that's what I want. This Ultravibe tail is what's going to make all that commotion on top. So my hook bend underneath, and then my hook up top here, and then I sink it into the plastic. I'll show it to you again on the setup there before I end the video. But that one is Green Pumpkin Purple and Gold. This side, I believe, is a lot of the watermelon colors I have, and just some other ones. This one is is a color they call Bull Bream, which has got a really bunch of cool flake in it. So you see the theme here of the colors that I like to throw. Bull Bream, they call that one. It's got some, it's like some blue and some gold, some black flake in there. A whole bunch of different ones. That's a cool color, Bull Bream. All right, next one is Sungill, another really cool color that Zoom has. See that up close? That's a really, that's a really cool color. That's Sungill. That's a cool one. It's almost like a two-tone color when I really look at it in the light. It's lighter on this side than it seems on this side. A little darker on that top side. It's really cool. It's a nice one. I should chuck that one on Tuesday. But they're all good. Fish will eat all of them. But that's it. Sungill, another excellent color from Zoom. And the last two is, you guys know I love watermelon candy. Don't go home, don't go fishing without it. One of my favorite colors in any bait, any style, watermelon candy. It just catches fish. What it looks like in the water to them, I guess, like I mentioned before, bluegill, perch, you know, some kind of bait fish. But that watermelon candy really shines. If I could throw one color, that would probably be it. And last but not least, watermelon red magic. It's got that word magic in it, so you know it's going to be a cool color. So this is watermelon red, and then they throw in all that other flake. So that is really cool. That'll shine nice in the water. That flake will really show there. If you got a sunny day. Just looking at the tail, it looks really cool. It's got the big, you know, of the black flake, the big pieces of it in there. That looks really cool. Watermelon red magic. That's a great color. So that, my friends, shockingly, is it. I don't have 9 million colors, but for this, you know, with a 15-pack, it goes a long way. Get a couple colors that you really like. And there's other ones that they have that are really nice that I'm sure I'll try eventually. But I kind of stick with these natural ones. Watermelon red magic. Watermelon candy. Sungill is really nice. They all look great. Sungill. Bull Bream. Green pumpkin, purple and gold. If you stick with your green pumpkins and your watermelons, you really can't go wrong. Green pumpkin magic. Tilapia magic. Just straight black. It's always a good one. And that one I showed you first, that's the one I have tied on, that green pumpkin candy. I'll show you that one more time. Bait casting equipment I prefer. Spinning is fine. Just Texas rig it, and then we see how I have it. So it's Texas rig. The hook is here, and that's where that Ultravibe tail is. That's going to make all the commotion on top, and then just skin hook it on top there, so it's weedless. Small weight or no weight. I like a small 1/8 ounce. I might go up to a quarter sometimes. Maybe if it's a little thicker cover, but 1/8, quarter. You don't need a lot of weight. Like I said, you can do it without it, and just swim that across the top. Swim it across the surface. You will get bit. You will get bit. So it's old school, old school bass fishing. Very popular down in Florida, places where there's a lot of grass. And, you know, here in the Northeast, being, you know, last day in August, September coming up, this is the most grass our lakes will probably have at this point of the year before it starts to get colder and some of it starts to die off. So whatever grass your lakes have, it's probably maxed out right now, what it's going to be for the season. So great time to swim this around. You know, your submergent weeds, your scattered weed clumps, floating docks, lily pads, I like to pitch it up next to pontoon boats and just swim it alongside those pontoons. Works great. Swim it next to docks. They'll just come out and just hammer it. And you don't have to burn it. Just a nice steady retrieve. And if you're fishing it in, around heavier cover and you're going through it, then there's like an opening in it, a hole. Just you can let it fall down. Get ready to set the hook. Good old worm fishing. And like I said, you can flip and pitch this too. Heavier weight, flip and pitch it into weeds if you've got thick milfoil. Works great with that too. But that's it, guys. That is the Zoom Ultravibe speed worm. I don't think people really swim worms as much as they used to. I certainly don't see anybody doing it. So, show the fish something that no one else is doing right now. To me, it's another old school technique that still works. And this is probably the most popular worm to do it with, the Ultravibe speed worm from Zoom. Tons of colors. I like these natural ones. As I look through Zoom or Land Big Fish when they're having their Labor Day sale for this week, I was looking at some of their different colors in there that I haven't tried yet that I might grab another couple bags. They're 20% off now. It's a good time. Tackle Warehouse has their Labor Day sale, 20% off there. So check them out. Check them out. And don't forget, if you don't have a pair of Spike It markers, good thing to have. Put a little chartreuse, a little orange on that tail. You'd be surprised how that blue marker helps sometimes too. So they all have their time. A little red in there. I think this thing is messed up. There we go. But don't forget the dye markers. They make it a lot easier to put a little color on your baits. But that's it, guys. So I'll put links to these on Land Big Fish and on Tackle Warehouse because they're having the sale. I'm sure Land Big Fish probably has more colors. They always do in Zoom. They're like, I think, the #1 Zoom dealer in the country. But check it out. It's a cool bait. If you haven't tried it, let me know. If you guys have other ways that you like to rig them or or throw them, let us know in the comments. I always appreciate the comments. And if you guys that love Zoom as much as me, you should enjoy this video. So please like the video. Please share it. If you guys are new to my channel, please subscribe. And I will see you guys soon on YouTube. Oh, happy Labor Day. Mark out.